Hey there, Five-ish fam. Rachel here. I just wanted to pop this on to the beginning of this recording to say that I am so sorry that this episode is so late. I did my mad 2-day Gen Con Naruto run, for lack of a better description, and lucky me, I came down with my own special version of con crud. So yeah, it's been a thing. I've been very fortunate, knock on wood, that con crud has not been an issue in the last few years, but I think it's just because I tried to cram so much into Gen Con into such a short amount of time that I ran myself ragged. And now I'm paying for it in a number of ways that I will not get into here. Let's just say that I've been in touch with my doctor's office a few times. So, yeah. Obviously, as you hear in the news segment, I was talking about Gen Con. This obviously was recorded before Gen Con. It was right after San Diego Comic-Con. And going into Gen Con, my summer vacation was over, so I had to go back to work. And things were just nuts there because of technical issues. So that's fabulous. So yeah, it was just one of those, like, almost Murphy's Law type things. Like, if something could go wrong, it pretty much did. So I am so sorry that this is so late. Hopefully this is not an indication of what the rest of my school year is going to be like. Thankfully I don't have to worry about con crud. I just have to worry about I work in a public school crud instead. So yeah, I appreciate all your guys' patience and everything. This is just kind of something that we're just gonna have to deal with for the foreseeable future, because unfortunately the way the calendar works now is our summer school ends and we go back to school the same week of Gen Con. So I would like to hope that technical stuff at work would not be an issue going forward, and it's just I can't spread out my Gen Con activities across 4 days like normal. I can only really attend on the weekends, so that means I gotta cram a lot into like 2 days, almost a day and a half. So yeah, anyway, I'm so sorry this is so late, and let's cross our fingers and cross our toes and say a few hail Ted Lassos that this does not happen. Something like this is probably going to happen again in the future, but, we'll say a few prayers to Saint Ted Lasso that it doesn't become a very common occurrence. So, enjoy the episode. Just may continue all the way to episode 506 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. Oh my goodness, you think I would have just gotten home from Fandom Christmas or something? I'm so delusional, but no, sadly not the case. But that's okay, we're gonna talk about it anyway. We're stalling, can you tell? Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like a Norvik with a Rachel table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany Bingle.
This is Holly from Wisconsin.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Chrissy and her family are on vacation.
That is right. I'm hoping they are having a blast where they
last little bit of R&R and sun and the fun and all that fun stuff before the kids start school.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and for those of you who are in the States and in the center of it, please stay cool. Please hydrate.
Yeah.
We're almost done.
We're looking at a potential break in the madness later this week. So we'll cross our fingers, cross our toes.
It can't come fast enough.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brittany. I think I might be heading your way.
It's been here. It's the humidity has been insane.
Oh my God. It rained so hard earlier today. Like it was and the thunder, it was just so loud. Did it do anything for the heat? Absolutely not.
I'm waiting for the rain and the cool down to come.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, during the day, I don't mind the heat because it's daytime, the sun's up. You kind of expect at least some warmth with the big shiny thing up in the sky. But
Right.
once it starts getting dark, it needs to not be 80 something degrees outside pushing 90. Not when it's like 10
No.
o'clock at night.
And you're trying to sleep.
Yes. Warm during the day, fine. At nighttime, not so much.
Nope.
Or in the morning when you expect the like kind of like nice crispiness in the morning, and but as soon as you walk out, you're already sweating bullets. I'm like, seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, no.
Yeah, when I'm rolling into work at 6:30 in the morning and it's the thermometer on my car is like, it's 80 degrees. I'm like, what the crap is this?
Right?
Yeah.
So,
What universe did I transfer myself to?
yeah. Like wrong part of the day. Wrong part of the day.
Yep.
So, all right. Like I said, can you tell we're stalling?
Yeah,
Because we do have some non-fandom Christmas related news to cover, and some of it is not pretty.
No. Major 10
unfortunately.
o'clock news. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's been a bit of a bummer lately.
This especially the last couple of weeks of this month in general. 2025. Can you please stop? Yes, we know people, but still.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's been a few celebrity passings. So some more recognizable than others, but still they're human being. So but if you're a child of the 80s, you might need to, if you know people that are children of the 80s, you might need to check on them.
Yeah.
Because
some of us might not be okay.
Yeah. Because we've lost, among others, Malcolm Jamal Warner, who famously played Theo on The Cosby Show. So he unfortunately passed away due to an unfortunate drowning accident. He got pulled into a undertow and wasn't able to break free of it, unfortunately. So
I think his daughter was with him, and that he was at least able to get her off to one of the other rescue people. But oh man,
yeah, which that's like the second celebrity that's happened to in so many years. Which not to be flippant about it, but if I had a nickel for every time a celebrity's drowned while trying to save their kid from drowning, I'd have two nickels, which is not a lot, but weird that it's happened twice.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's why they always warn you to be careful when you're out in the ocean, because you never know when those things are gonna.
And not even just the ocean. That's the thing.
Oh, even lakes too.
Yeah, because the other celebrity, I think of Naya Rivera, who was on Glee, she was she was out on a boat on a lake, but there happened to be like a tide pool or something,
or
that was just
the
natural.
waves really bad with white caps that could
do it. Yeah, it was just one of those like weird things that can occur even in a lake, that she saved her son's life, but unfortunately it cost her own. So yeah, you don't mess with water, folks.
Nope.
So I don't care how strong of a swimmer you think you are, unfortunately Mother Nature is stronger.
Yep.
So don't go into water you're not familiar with if you can help it. Wear a life vest. So, but yeah. Another is if you're a wrestling fan, Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Uh, he has also passed away after uh possible complications from recent surgery that the coroner's report, I'm sure, will tell us ultimately what it seemed to have had some sort of cardiac event. He had neck surgery recently, but that supposedly had gone well, but that doesn't mean that complications can't arise after the fact,
Right.
after having surgery. As someone who has had major-ish surgery a couple times, in the last like decade or so. Yeah, they can. Sometimes they're like, "Oh yeah, you're great. You can go home right now," and then a little while later you're like, no." So,
yeah.
But yeah, so, but he's obviously he was a very recognizable figure in the professional wrestling sphere.
Heck, even out, like a lot of people who pay attention to wrestling know who he was.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, he did try to have an acting career. The less we talk about Suburban Commando, probably the better.
The better, yeah.
Santa with Muscles.
Yep.
Oh my.
Again, yeah. I'm pretty sure if their feed is still available, Cult Cinema Cavalcade, I think they did Santa with Muscles back in the day. So one of our fellow podcasts definitely, I know, did Santa with Muscles at some point several years ago. I just don't remember which show it was. But again, the less we talk about that, the better. So yeah, I'm not a wrestling fan by any means. Like I was saying in my PopCon recap, I did pop in, pun intended, into one of their when they were doing wrestling there at PopCon, and it's like, I appreciate it for the sport that it is, because it is a sport. I mean, there is ample opportunity for someone to get genuinely hurt if you're not very careful about what you're doing. Right. So you have to be smart about it. You have to be in the physical shape enough to be able to handle to do those sorts of things. That being said, on the personnel side of things, whether you want to, whether you refer to him as Hulk, whether you refer to him as Terry, which was his given name, his actual name, he was not the best person. If you've seen, if you watch the documentary series about Vince McMahon, which Netflix or Hulu, I don't remember which, that I watched earlier this year, I think. The Hulk was not the nicest. He was not a team player. How about we put it like that? He did his fellow wrestlers dirty. When they were just trying to make their job better for everybody. For those that don't know, do the TLDR. If you want the full story, you could go watch the documentary or go find somebody's video on YouTube that goes into more detail. But once upon a time, the wrestlers in the WWF, whatever it was called, WWE, I can't keep track of when the names changed, but back in the heyday when like characters like Hollywood Hulk Hogan were a big part of the uh the cavalcade of characters that Vince McMahon had to his usage, as as the organizer. At one point the wrestlers wanted to unionize to help, bring up some standards as far as like healthcare, making sure that they could get insurance, because again, there are risks involved as far as injury, um, sometimes career ending injury, life ending injuries, unfortunately. Um, so that's why they wanted to unionize, is so that they could have the power to make sure that they were protected as far as their livelihoods were concerned. And they were, keeping it on the DL. I don't remember exactly who was like the initial person or people that started floating the idea around, but when Terry heard about it, he immediately went to Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon put the kibosh on it. And even now they are not union. So at least as far as what I remember, like I said, I watched a documentary ages ago. I've slept since then. So yeah, he was and he was he that was like one of the big things, but he was a bit of a tattletale. Like if anybody was saying, anything that he didn't think was, kind about Vince McMahon or about the gig or whatever, he immediately ran off to Vince to be like, I so and so was saying, this about you. And Vince McMahon is a jackass, for lack of a better word. He's on the short list of people that will never get a Christmas card from me, much like he who should not be named, formerly of Disney. Those two cut from very similar cloth. So yeah. If you're a big enough fan, you can appreciate Hulk Hogan for what he was as far as like a character in the ring, but outside of the ring and behind the scenes, he was not the greatest guy. And I guess even towards the end, he was getting himself involved in things that
he probably shouldn't have been involved in.
Probably shouldn't have been involved in. So what's going to happen now as far as like, his estate and everything, we'll see. Because he wasn't necessarily directly involved, but his current wife, the wife he has at the time of his passing. So we shall see. A little bit of drama there, but that's wrestling in a nutshell, I guess. Lots of drama in and outside the ring. And then this one, I guess, he was like, I had my farewell concert, I had my cake, sayonara, I don't know. Ozzy was like, Mama, I'm coming home. So yeah, we lost Ozzy. Like what? Like what was that concert? Like 2 weeks ago?
Early July, like July 5th, I want to say.
Yeah.
5th or 6th.
Like it's not been very long since the Black Sabbath farewell concert. So
I think they had even interviewed Tony Iommi, and it was just like he must have known it was coming, and he wanted to do this come heck or high water, and
so it's unfortunate, because I think even Yeah, I think some people thought maybe he would, you know, might be able to hold out a
Do a studio album.
longer
Yeah.
than he did.
Yeah.
Parkinson's is an awful disease.
Yes.
Yes.
Is the thing, and it's one of those diseases where
You can
you
try to
just,
slow it down, but then when it speeds up, it speeds up.
well, yeah, but it's also like there's still so much we don't know about it and how it actually works.
Right.
And
And what
why it
medicines
does
work.
what it does, and why
Yeah.
it does some things to one person and not. Because I'm like, Ozzy was diagnosed like what, a decade ago,
Yeah. If
if
not
that,
longer. Yeah. Yeah.
and now he's gone. Meanwhile, you've got, someone like Michael J. Fox, who has been handling it for how long?
I want to say, when did, oh, geez, because I think that was around the time he was doing Spin City when he got diagnosed for
Yeah,
sure. And
it's
had
been
to
quite a
leave.
while. Yeah, and he's been very fortunate that the progression
90s,
of it.
so like 90, so like mid to late 90s, early 2000s, because it says
Yeah, so more than
96
20 years.
years. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean he's been very very fortunate that the progression
Yes.
has been as slow really
Right.
as it has, but it's just, it's like, why did it take Ozzy so quickly versus, is it because Ozzy was already older when he was diagnosed? Is it the lifestyle Ozzy led,
Right.
that
Or was it
made
the
it a
fact that
factor?
or was it also a contributing factor that I'm not sure. I mean, I've been seeing it posted on the internet. I'm not 100% sure. Supposedly, he stopped taking his meds a certain amount of time before the concert so he could be able to do and function the way he did. So I don't know if that had a role in it too, because we don't know how long he was off of them. So I mean, I don't.
Right.
It's anybody's
Yeah.
guess game, but it stinks.
Yeah. Yeah. It does. It no matter how you slice it, like I said, it's a terrible disease, and anybody
You wouldn't
that,
wish it on anybody.
No.
absolutely not. Yeah.
And I know that they are going to release 100 or so minute from the concert. And I know people, you could stream it online and bought the rights to watch it when it first happened.
Yeah, but I think they're gonna do a better edited
right. But I would love to
of
see
it.
them. Yeah, I would love to see them do a better edit, but do the whole entire, give us everything.
Yeah.
Like they did with the Freddie Mercury tribute concert. This one deserves that treatment too.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Ooh, I cried just watching the little
clippets.
Yeah, like when with like my mom coming home always gets me, and now it's even worse.
It's even and then Youngblood doing changes. Holy
cow.
Yeah. I mean, and I've actually started to seek out some of his solo work, and man, he's good.
Yeah. So it's been
an interesting couple of weeks.
Yeah, it has been. So, and I know there's a few more beyond that, but we could, otherwise we would spend the entire episode talking about recent celebrity passings. Yeah. Unfortunately. So so we are going to move on. So moving on to Gen Con, which so this recording is this weekend. And officially, unofficially, depends on what you read, which is funny considering both of the information that I got both come directly from Gen Con. But
so basically pretty much your mileage may vary.
Yeah. So the email that I got from Gen Con earlier today said that what single day tickets they have As we're recording this on Monday, tomorrow, Tuesday, the 29th, is the last opportunity to purchase those single day that they supposedly still have available. However, there is also a blog post or a media post on the Gen Con website that says that the show is sold out.
Right, that's what I thought.
So I guess if you were waiting to the very last minute, I mean, odds are
Roll
by
the
the time you
dice
hear
and
this, it's
take a
probably going to
chance.
be moot.
Yeah.
Just know
Yeah.
that if you show up at some point this weekend without a badge, you ain't going to be able to buy one. For better, for all intents and purposes, it is, whether it's sold out or not, after tomorrow, any badges that are left are not going to be for sale. They're cutting it off.
Yep, and don't fall for the, oh, hey, you just say your need.
Yeah.
You get busted, it's not gonna be pretty.
Yeah. There's Gen Con is very
Particular.
protective of people's accounts.
Yes,
as they should be, because there are some people
Yeah.
that have been going for a very, very long time. Their Gen Con ID number is, shorter than some zip codes.
Right.
So yeah, some people they go back to Geneva as far as
Yes.
attending Gen Con. So
Yeah, and just like, because in kind of the same boat with Packer tickets, if you're a season Packer ticket holder and you wind up selling your tickets to somebody and they wind up causing trouble, it falls back on you too. You both get and so it's like, it's not worth it. Not worth it.
So that being said, I will remind folks, I said this last week, that if you have purchased a badge and event tickets, because the article that says that the show is sold out also mentioned that there are where's the number? 30,000 unique ticketed events.
Oh,
wowza.
Yep. So yeah, the vendor hall, almost 600 vendors. So
Oh boy.
yeah,
comfy shoes.
Comfy shoes. That too. But as I mentioned last episode, if you are doing like a single day ticket and event tickets, you do not have to wait till that day to pick them up. Once the will call line opens on Wednesday, you can go get your stuff.
Yay!
Regardless of what day it's for.
Nice.
So, unless you unless you snag like an event ticket, like the same day you go pick it up, they may not have it yet. But, anything that you have purchased up to this point and have to do will call, you can start doing that pickup come Wednesday. So, if you can get downtown, I highly recommend doing so. That's my plan, is to go Wednesday to do all that fun stuff. Even though I will not be actually attending anything until Saturday, I'm not dealing with the line on Saturday. So, and the will call line is open 24 hours once it's open. So,
oh wow.
Yeah, they're close to it. Yeah, they keep it open as long as possible so that, you're like, I work the night shift, so I'd have to go either before I go to work or after I get off work. And like, hey, if you get off at work at like 4 a.m, odds are, I would double check, but because this is another sold out Gen Con, odds are they're probably going to have the will call open pretty much 24 hours. So they may not have every single window open 24 hours a day, but there will be at least a booth or two with staff people to be able to get your stuff for you. So yeah, highly recommend going and picking up your stuff as soon as you can once will call opens. I cannot stress that enough. 30,000 unique ticketed events is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there is that, and then another little mark this on your calendar in pencil just in case, but our Murderinos shall be returning September 9th. So, season 5 of Only Murders in the Building. Only on Hulu. That's exciting. I love that show. It's so much fun. All right. That is the news for now, at least. So, you just will have a few more days if you want to be involved in anything this month related for Zip Book Club, and then we will have an update for you next show.
Yes, we will.
But we shall move on to feedback. Of course, we got some feedback from Shalane. And Shalane says, thanks for the birthday wishes. I'm officially feeling 30, flirty, and thriving. As you should, girlfriend. Welcome to your 30s.
Yes.
Woo-hoo.
And it's all downhill from there.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, 30's not too bad. You got about 5 years, then it starts going downhill. The first half of your 30s is pretty awesome. Then you hit 35, then it starts going downhill.
As someone who just
I
turned
meant
25
downhill
this
in
year.
a nice way, that it's this stuff doesn't stress you out as much anymore.
Yeah, I mean, mentally, you're doing much better when you hit 30, and as you get older, like mentally, you'll get better. It's just the physical part of it starts to go downhill about 35. Yeah.
That's not the fun part.
Keep going to the gym, girl, and getting that exercise in.
Yes.
You're doing yourself a favor. That's all I'm saying.
Rachel, I agree.
Yeah.
Trust me, your joints will thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, let's talk about Stranger Things. The first trailer gave me chills. I'm counting down the days. This final season really gives Harry Potter 5, starting with those preteens and ending as we come of age. December is going to be packed for fandoms. We'll get Stranger Things season 5 part 2 and the finale. Avatar Fire and Ash, Knives Out 3, and probably a Wicked for Good sing-along. I figured Avatar Fire and Ash would release around the same time, the trailer would release around the same time as Fantastic Four First Steps. It did. I did get the trailer while waiting at my screening for Fantastic Four, and I was like, yeah, still don't care. Like, I'll go visit Pandora down at Disney World because it's really pretty and really, I mean, the attractions there are really cool, but the movies, I just don't care. I'm planning an Avatar and Titanic watch party with some friends, one who loves Titanic and the other who loves both Titanic and Avatar, including The Last Airbender and Blue Avatar. Hope to see Fire and Ash with them, just need to ask first. Like I mentioned before, I'm rewatching seasons 1 through 4 around Stranger Things Day in November, 1 season per day. I haven't done it in a while, and this year is packed. Work, Stranger Things Day, Wicked for Good, Zootopia 2, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and season 5 part 1. December will be busy too. Christmas cards, Avatar, and part 2, Stranger Things. Heck yeah. I loved Ironheart. Turned out to be better than I expected. The friendship scenes were great. I was hoping it might set up a Young Avengers series, but not sure if that's happening. I'll probably rewatch it soon. This year's Comic-Con was also a lot of fun. I especially love the Her Universe fashion show and the Percy Jackson season 2 trailer drop. Speaking of which, I got chills from that season 2 trailer. I'm so excited. So need to get myself a Camp Half-Blood shirt. Speaking of the Her Universe fashion show, I was hoping for a new Elphaba dress, but the Glinda one is beautiful too. Maybe we'll get more when Wicked for Good comes out. Now that I'm 30, I want to refresh my wardrobe with more Her Universe and Box Lunch outfits, but it's time to save money for now. I love Anthony Ramos. He's amazing and definitely my celeb crush. The Tron Ares panel looked awesome. I think you girls missed the trailer that dropped. I'm planning to see it with my Disney buddy. One of my friend's husbands still needs to see Tron Legacy. He's only seen the original. I remember when y'all talked about Tron on the podcast. I still need to get to Disney World to ride the new Tron ride. Me too. Mm-hmm. It was a bit of a bummer that there wasn't a Marvel panel, probably because Avengers Doomsday comes out next Christmas. Hopefully next year at San Diego Comic-Con and D23 we'll get cast reveals, costume previews, and set design details for both Doomsday and Secret Wars. We're getting a Wile E. Coyote movie after all. It was canceled but brought back. Yeah, I know. The Lilo and Stitch live action panel. That panel was adorable. It was fun seeing the little girl who plays Lilo in the live action movie. She really stole the show. The Avatar Fire and Ash trailer dropped exclusively in theaters with Fantastic Four. Same with the trailer for The Odyssey, Christopher Nolan's big summer blockbuster for next year. The trailer played before Jurassic World Rebirth. And the cast is incredible. Tom Holland, Zendaya, Anne Hathaway, Robert Pattinson, Matt Damon, Charlize Theron, Lupita Nyong'o, and John Berthal. Don't skip this one. Sadly, Malcolm Jamal Warner from The Cosby Show has passed away. That's all I have for this week, especially on Ironheart and Comic-Con. Thank you, Shalane.
Yes. Yeah, I saw the Ares trailer when I went to see Fantastic Four, and it does. Oh, it looks good.
Yeah, I haven't seen the newest one. I've only seen the first one that dropped.
Okay.
And I think that's sufficient enough for me. I did get the Odyssey trailer before Fantastic Four, though, and I've never read the Odyssey, so
I don't think I got Odyssey. I don't think I got the Odyssey for mine, but I did get the Avatar one. I'm like, okay. Then I got the Predator one. I'm like, oh, goody.
Yeah.
Nope, skip.
Yeah. I'm like, well, this looks really cool. I have no idea what's going on, but looks pretty awesome. If Nick watched movie trailers, he'd really like this. But I know he's going to see this movie anyway, even without seeing the trailer. So, but yeah, there's some. Yeah, it was weird because I it started the trailers, and they got so far, and then did like I went to an AMC, and I did like the AMC like Coke commercial.
Oh, okay.
And then I got the Avatar Fire and Ash trailer, and then I got the Nicole Kidman AMC commercial.
Oh,
so I was a little confused.
Well, it was like I got some trailers, and then they did a please silence your phone, and then I got a few more trailers, and then it's and then it finally went into the movie. I was like, okay, it was weird, but hey,
no, I mean, it's all good.
Yeah, as long as I was like, as long as there's no issues when the whole movie gets played, we're good.
Yep. But we're not here to talk about Fantastic Four. Not yet.
That'll be in a couple weeks.
Yep. Gotta get a little more time for more people to see it. So
yes.
Well, instead, we are here to talk about Christmas. Well, as Shalane mentioned, yes, we did. There was no Marvel panel. There was no Star Wars panel, technically. I mean, George Lucas was there, but
no, you're right.
That was for something else.
Different capacity entirely.
Yeah. So yeah, there were a lot of it. It was more I think the biggest, studio or whatever that had a presence this year was DC.
Right.
And even there, that it still was not a lot. Like, it really wasn't anything like super like internet breaking
No, not
this
this time around.
year. So
Yeah.
last year we all died.
Right.
But for a lot of
Darn you
things
and
last
thank you,
year.
RDJ. Darn you
Yeah.
and thank you.
Yeah. But this year it was a bit more quiet on the Western Front.
Yes.
As far as like bombshell announcements and trailers
Mhm.
and stuff. So it actually tended to be more TV focused.
Yeah.
More than anything, because like even with DC, it wasn't like films, it was for like Peacemaker and whatever the other DC properties are that I have no idea. Speaking of wrestling, John Cena.
Right.
You
And then
can't see me.
I think Robert Mackey was there for the second season of what was it? Twisted
Metal.
Yep.
Yeah. Which I saw a commercial for that, and I was like, "What the heck is it? What is Anthony Mackie doing?"
Yeah. I mean, because it's
I was like,
almost
"What is this?"
it's like Death Race meets Mad Max.
Yeah,
In a
I
way,
was like,
that's
"What?"
the way to explain it.
Yeah, and I'm like, "What in the?" And then I
What am
saw a
I
commercial
watching?
for the Running Man. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Like you kind of I think you can kind of tell like where the world is at the moment with all this like dystopian type stuff.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Where people's brains are or something.
Yeah.
Um so so yeah, it was really more focused for the TV related stuff. I mean, when I was looking at like recaps, I was seeing things for like Rick and Morty and Family Guy and you know stuff like that. So I was like, oh, okay, well this is
Mhm.
the way things are rolling this year, which Marvel kind of did have a big movie that opened the same weekend. So I think they
Right.
probably thought that they got themselves covered. Um,
Mm.
and then, Star Wars, they had Celebration in Japan earlier this year.
So all their big
So,
announcements were done there, which
right.
makes
And
perfect
then,
sense.
right. That's, Star Wars, they do have their own thing that they
Mhm.
do, occasionally
And
have.
Disney has their D23. What is it? So many. Is it
It's
every
every
year? Or is
other
it
year.
every year?
So we
Yeah.
had D23 last year. We had the big, expo last year. Um, And so there won't be another big one until next year. There is going to be a smaller Destination D event later at the end of August down at Walt Disney World at Coronado Springs, which is one of the resorts that has like convention conference space. Um and it's just going to be a smattering of events, including a Cusco-topia night at Typhoon Lagoon. That sounds awesome. To celebrate the 25th anniversary of Emperor's New Groove.
Oh
A
God.
Disney 80s 90s celebration in concert. Um um and some other stuff, including a party or specific uh one of the Halloween parties at Mickey's Not So Scary. So yeah, uh so yeah, those not a lot going on with those, because they've been doing other stuff elsewhere, which, hey,
Mhm.
if it ain't broke, people are already talking about you, why you don't need to remind them if they're already talking about you. So that being said, yes, George Lucas was there with not directly Star Wars related, um but to talk about the museum that is going to be opening in California next
Of
year.
course.
Yes. So it is we've talked about it a little bit last episode, a couple episodes ago.
I think so. Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be George is calling it a temple to the people's art. So
Cool phrasing.
yeah, it's the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art, co-founded with his wife. And it's supposed to open in Los Angeles next year. It is as I think I mentioned this, it is going to be 300,000 square feet, about the size of an IKEA.
Wow. Meatballs not included.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't help it when you said IKEA.
Yeah. Very true. You probably still can't sit on, they probably still don't want you sitting on some of the furniture either.
Right.
But there will be Star Wars art and artifacts. They showed a little video during the panel that was done voiced or narrated by Samuel L. Jackson. So
on up the big guns, Mace Windu.
Yeah. He's like, listen
among
up,
others.
come to this mother museum.
Exactly.
If you know what's good for you.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
We need you for a certain project.
Yeah. Oh, but apparently George Lucas is just a huge fan of just like art, and especially kind of pop culture related art. Like, apparently he is one of the main collectors of Norman Rockwell paintings.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah.
Cool.
He started collecting art, like comic book related art, back in the 60s, when you could buy like original panels for comics and stuff for what now we would consider pennies on the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the 60s, paying $35 for a single piece of art was a lot. Now we would be like, $35, I'll buy 12.
Right.
Sold.
I'll buy the entire thing.
Yeah. I mean, to paraphrase Zach Morris, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, exactly. The panel included George and Guillermo del Toro, because Guillermo del Toro, if you've seen any interviews with him at his house, his house looks like a museum of like pop culture. It's goals for me to to have something remotely close to what Guillermo del Toro has. Maybe less focused on the horror aspect of things, but same idea.
Mm-hmm.
I guess del Toro said that he's on the board as well for the museum, that the Los Angeles wildfires actually got a little too close to his house than comfortable, which is where that collection lives. So he said, some of this may be going to the museum.
Don't blame him.
Yeah. Or it might be a little more safe.
Yeah, a semi-permanent loan.
Yes. Like if he really wants to see something, I'm pretty sure that he could just walk in and be like, I'd like to look at this piece, please. And they'd be like, here you go, sir.
I'd like to see my babies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, no, I do not blame him. George was kind of the same way. He's like, I've been collecting all this stuff since the 60s.
Right.
And he's like, and he owns, like, like I said, he's Norman Rockwell. That's not an artist I would be like, George Lucas likes Norman Rockwell. But hey, I do have a print of a Norman Rockwell on my wall in between all of my Star Wars and My Little Pony and other related stuff. But it's a reproduction of a piece of art that my grandfather had in his home when I was a child. So it's a nostalgia thing for me. Because otherwise it would not fit into my decor at all. So but he also has, like he has the first drawing of Flash Gordon, original panels of Peanuts comic strips.
Oh, cool.
Early drawings of Iron Man and Black Panther.
Wow.
So, and of course, that's before he had the Star Wars money. It could buy even more expensive, things. And he essentially is like, what am I going to do with all this? I'm not going to sell it. Let's put it in a museum. So,
makes complete and perfect sense.
Right.
And then that way too, the public gets to see some of that stuff too. And like,
Exactly.
wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to see some of those notes from Charles Schultz, or heck, even the early drawings of Iron Man and Black Panther. My goodness.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, some of that stuff you might see in maybe like a traveling exhibit, like the Marvel one that I went to, several years ago. It was the same time that I got to meet Brittany. That same trip. And they had, some of that stuff on display. The Comic-Con, they have a museum out there in California, but again, it's only so big, and you do need to rotate out some stuff to keep things fresh. And to get people to come in, and sometimes you'll maybe do an exhibit where it's a very specific, like, artist or IP or something. So a lot of that stuff, it gets put in an archive somewhere, and the public never gets to see it. So having places like this museum are going to give people an opportunity to see some things that they never probably would otherwise, unless you're a close personal friend of George Lucas and he invites you over to his house,
right,
for dinner or something, and then you're digesting afterwards, and he's like, hey, you want to see some of my collectibles? So I think that's really exciting. It's still scheduled to open next year. Not anything more specific than that yet, as far as opening, but I'm excited to put that on my to-do list.
Right.
So, dear George Lucas,
please and thank you.
We would like to take a field trip. Please and thank you.
We review it for the podcast.
Yeah.
Yes. Heck, you could lead the podcast.
Yeah, there we go. If you're not available, we would gladly take Guillermo del Toro, or even your wife.
Yes.
Like your wife, she's a woman. We're women.
Hey.
We got that in common.
Yes.
So yeah, that's exciting thing. And then I know this is kind of exciting for you, Holly, because I know you were a fan.
Yes.
Of
Do you want me to
Critical Role.
you want me to take over with some of these character names for the Mighty Nine? Because
Yeah, sure, please.
I've got the pronunciation down.
Yeah, I know.
Save you.
I know Jester, and that's it, and that's only because of Ginny.
Ginny D.
So,
yes.
yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I am a diehard critter, and with this panel, we're celebrating 10 years, but they are also talking about the release of season 1 of the Mighty Nine, which which is the animated version of campaign 2. And they also announced season 4 of The Legend of Vox Machina, and they also revealed too that Vox Machina will have a 5th and final season. And for those of you who are a little worried, like, do I need to watch the tabletop show, the actual live gameplay? No, you do not. If you've seen them, that's fine. You'll catch a little more Easter eggs, but these you can go in and watch. They are kind of tweaking a few things to make the storylines make more sense, but I will get into that. So much like the Legend of Vox Machina, the group of outcasts and fugitives known as the Mighty Nine are put in a rock and a hard place in which they have no other choice but to work together to save the world. This time around, an arcane relic known as the Beacon has fallen into the wrong hands and threatens to undo reality itself. So the main cast is the founders of Critical Role and the same actors who portrayed them from the Tabletop Adventures, which was from 2018 to 2021. Ashley Johnson will star as Yasha Nadoran, Laura Bailey from The Last of Us Part 2 as Jester Labor, Liam O'Brien from Marvel's Avengers as Taylor Littlegast, Taliesin Jaffe, World of Warcraft as Mollymuck Molly Tealeaf, Travis Willingham from Marvel's Avengers, and as Ford, Sam Riegel from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as Not the Brave, and Marisha Ray from Fallout 76 as Beauregard Bo Lionette, and Matthew Mercer, Baldur's Gate 3. He will be playing, I know that it was said in the panel, he will be voicing Essek. And they also made, getting to that, they also said guests in the series will have legendary names as Ming-Na Wen, Mark Strong, Alan Cumming, Tim McGraw. Yes, the Tim McGraw from The Blind Side. and country singer.
And a Taylor Swift song.
And a Taylor Swift song, yes. Aluli Carvalho from Moana, Raul Coley from iZombie and Midnight Mass, Robbie Damon, Fire Emblem, The Houses, and the video game Date Everything. And he was also in campaign 3 of Critical Role, Bell Cells, which everybody.
Robbie Damon is in everything.
Yes. He from every interview I've had of him, he is such a sweetheart. I would love to meet him in person. And everybody is hoping for an animated season 3 for animated campaign 3 for Bell Cells. And Commander Riker, Mr. Jonathan Frakes himself, the Next Generation, is also going to be voicing, and people have been like, what characters are they going to be playing? So I am really looking forward to this. I think I may have Brittany on board to watch the Mighty Nine. Now, if you do decide to watch and catch up with Legends of Vox Machina, it is, yes, it's animated, but parents, just so you know, this is more of an adult show with D&D themes, because there is a lot of violence and there not too much. I mean, there's some coarse language, a little nudity, but it's more for adults. The Legend of Vox Machina episodes, those are usually like 20 to half-hour episodes. With this Legend of the Mighty Nine, the new Mighty Nine, they are saying they're going to be close to an hour, 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Episodes. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to seeing what little twists they are going to be doing, because when they were doing the tabletop for campaign 2, which I caught midway through when I found out about it, Ashley Johnson was working on Blind Spot. So she would have to go, and her character would be off on a side quest. So it's going to be interesting how soon they're going to bring her into play in the animated series. So this is something to look forward to. And the animated Mighty Nine will be coming out November 19th of this year, with Vox Machina to come sometime in October 2026. Or not October, sometime in 2026. Why did I?
Yep.
So I'm excited. Any questions that you want to pick my brain on before we move to the next?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, our D&D campaign, we certainly had some interesting moments that if somebody had bothered to draw them out and animate them, would have
ours could have easily fit
quite
into some of
interesting.
these Mighty Nine and Vox Machina campaigns. Yes.
Yeah. And that's the fun about D&D is it's like, you're pretty much just making it up in your head, but then occasionally you will get someone that's, talented enough that'll be like, this is what I think it looked like. And you're like, absolutely. Yeah. Even just the way the characters look. I mean, obviously some of these characters are well established and we know what they look like. Like I said, I know Jester. I know Jester when I see a Jester cosplayer.
Yep.
But that's only because of Jenny. So
right, yeah. Well, if you ladies do decide to dip your toes in, I am here to answer questions.
Where
I would be happy to.
Where do you watch? Where do you watch those?
Okay, for the Critical Role stuff, if you want to watch the live plays, they do have a YouTube channel. With the majority of campaign 2 and all of campaign 3. They do have campaign 1 because they were with Geek and Sundry for a while. That was the company that Felicia Day started.
Yeah.
And then they do have their own online subscription service, but they only have starting with campaign 2, they have episode 19 and then all of the current stuff because of, I think, with rights issues with Geek and Sundry. Until that gets cleared, the main Vox Machina will not be on the Beacon website, but you can most definitely hit the Critical Role YouTube channel. They have playlists set up for each season. It's a lot of content, but I can steer you in the right direction. You can catch little mini clips.
Okay. Good to know. And then I love that this is becoming a thing. Magic the Gathering.
Yeah. They did.
I remember back in the day when Magic the Gathering was just Magic the Gathering.
None of the side offshoots.
None of these absolutely not. None of these side offshoots. Not that I'm complaining.
No,
Eddie,
I'm not.
So
I'm happy to see it, but it's just like,
yes,
man, when I was growing up, it was just
it's
right?
like
XYZ.
If I still played,
right.
I would go out and like when they released the Doctor Who set, I'd have gladly gone out and got it, but I don't have anybody. I still have a deck it's in the closet. It's in storage. I got a deck. I got a mat. So, yeah, I'm sure everything is so old that it's not regulation anymore. But if, I don't care about that, just want to play for fun, I can. So, but if Doctor Who Magic the Gathering wasn't your thing, or Lord of the Rings Magic the Gathering wasn't your thing, you're like, I prefer something a bit more superhero-y. Well, you're in luck because now we've got Marvel Magic the Gathering, specifically Spider-Man. So yeah, there's going to be a Spider-Man Magic the Gathering set, which is going to have Peter Parker, Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy, among others. And the thing is, because, collecting cards isn't enough these days, you can buy figures based on the cards, and and it will come with a foil version of said card when you buy the figurine.
Nice.
So no, you're not paying $39.99 for just one single Magic Gathering card. You're buying a action figure that comes with a Magic the Gathering card. So yeah, there's Battle Damage Spider-Man, Mary Jane wearing the Iron Spider suit. There is the article that I'll have linked in the show notes does not specifically say anything about the Miles Morales. Again, shows you I know some about the comics, but not everything. Apparently, Manwolf is a character. And it's exactly what you think. It's a giant white wolf that stands on two legs, apparently shoots arrows with a bow. But I guess I'm assuming this is based on something in the comics. He's a werewolf. He's a creature werewolf. But Manwolf apparently is Colonel John Jameson, J. Jonah Jameson's son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. It just struck me as funny. Considering J. Jonah Jameson's hatred for all things Spider-Man. So
I didn't realize he had a son in the comics.
yeah, apparently his son is a werewolf that uses a bow and arrow. Oh my.
The comics are weird.
They are.
Mhm.
Gotta love them.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's a thing. I saw that and I'm like, okay, all right. Well, this is
Good on you.
this is a road I didn't know we were traveling down, but hey, why not? Weirder things have happened
Uh-huh.
in the universe, so sure, why not? So yeah, those are the set is due to be released September 26th. It is going to include a set of 5 welcome decks geared towards new players. However, some of the cards in the welcome decks will not be legal in standard tournaments. So, if you care about tournament play, these might not be your cards. If you're just playing just with your funds, if you're doing Friday Night Magic, which I'm pretty sure is still a thing, even post COVID, then you're probably well and good. And yes, you can play all of these like IP Magic the Gathering cards can be played with regular Magic the Gathering cards alongside them. Yeah, you just treat them like, it's Spider-Man. It just happens to be a person. Just like you would play any other card that, is like a warrior or a fighter or something, or a creature in Magic the Gathering. So, oh, the fun. If I could find people to play with it, would just want to play just for fun, for the hell of it, and be like, yes, I'm going to play this. This is my Magic the Gathering deck. I've got some mana here, and I've got some artifacts and some land and some other things. I got some creatures and stuff. Oh, here's some Doctor Who, and here's some Marvel. Here's Gandalf.
I forgot
Like,
everything
it
about it. I used to
works.
play.
It works. In my little world, it works. So, yes, I did too. I used to play. Though I was never really good at it, but
Same.
I enjoyed
No,
it.
funny enough, like I haven't played in years. Like probably over like 15, 20.
Oh yeah,
I did went out and buy some of the Doctor Who ones just because they look so pretty. I'm like, I have to get some of them.
Yeah. Yep. So, but yeah, so yeah, September 26th. You can pre-order the little action figure card sets on Hasbro Pulse, which I guess is like their online store, starting at 1 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time on August 1st. They'll release in the fall. So, and then the actual set launches September 26th. So just the cards. There you go. You know, if regular Magic the Gathering just wasn't cutting it for you. There you go. And now we all know that J. Jonah Jameson has a son who is a werewolf. In some iteration somewhere. Speaking of Doctor Who, there was a little bit of a Doctor Who presence at Fandom Christmas. Not as big as I'm sure we would have liked. But you know, at this point we're all just kind of like, you know, I'll take whatever you can give me.
Yep.
So what they had is what were they calling them? There were these like pop-ups outside of the convention center. And they were all sorts of oh crap, I forget what they were calling them. But yeah, they were these pop-ups outside of the convention center, activations, that's what they were calling them. And they were different like IPs, and they were like official for whatever company or, you know, studio or IP or whatever. And some of them were like interactive experiences, some of them were pop-up shops. But the nice thing was, because they were outside the convention center, you didn't have to have a badge for Comic-Con to be able to go to these things. You just had to be willing to deal with the crowds. And one of these activations was Doctor Who, and it was a interactive experience with some items from the Black Archive. So yeah, if we were introduced to the Black Archive in the 50th anniversary special, of course, Day of the Doctor, house all sorts of dangerous artifacts, like, you know, Jack Harkness's
Vortex manipulator.
Yeah, vortex manipulator, and, you know, River Song's high heels, because those are very dangerous as well.
Yep.
I think it's not so much the heels are dangerous, it's the woman who wears them.
Right.
That's the
I'm
dangerous
surprised you didn't
part.
have her poison lipstick
Yeah.
in the Black Archive.
Yeah, I think I probably did, but probably just didn't see it.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was a unit setting up a display of some of their items, and had everything from old school to now, including some things that may or may not have ties to the upcoming war between the land and sea. But you know, as a Doctor Who fan, it would have just been fun just to go in and see and, like, you know, read the signage and everything. All the artifacts had tags on them. And but if you wanted to be a bit more involved, you could go on a mission, rounding up clues to help the doctor, and the mission changed each evening. But there were unit employees there to help you. Um, but there's an article on Gizmodo that's got a number of pictures of various items. A lot of it is new stuff. Um, from New Who, but there is some older stuff too. Um, uh, there's Belinda's star certificate. There's a Kerblam delivery box. um, so there's one, crack me up. There's one, it's a painting of it's like what do they call, it's not a landscape because it's not land, it's like still life, I guess. It's a table and it's a pile of pears, and the tag on it says, remember, the doctor hates pears.
Mhm.
Oh, that cracked me up. Oh. uh so that's kind of cool. um Among the portrait picture of the crispy master. uh oh my. So yeah, there was that was cool. There was a, what did you, air quotes here, panel called The Future of Doctor Who. However, this was not an official Doctor Who panel. This was a fan panel.
Ah.
Although apparently there's enough fan presence, because this panel was actually held in a ballroom at one of the hotels across the street from the convention center, and it was
Oh wow.
standing room only because of
Woo.
how many fans wanted to go to this panel, probably to give their 2 cents.
Mm.
Their current opinion of what they think the future of Doctor Who is. So, yeah, this is the type of panel that you would probably see at something like Long Island Who, Gallifrey One, Chicago TARDIS, that sort of thing. Um, but it was from the sound of it, it was um it wasn't necessarily like disparaging or like, hate filled by any means. It was more just, at this point, people just openly like postulating what the heck is going on with Doctor Who right now. Are they gonna stay on Disney Plus? Are they gonna move somewhere else? Apparently, Netflix seems to be where a lot of people want them to go based on the crowd reaction. Nobody wants them to go to wants it to go to HBO Max. So, um, 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 but yeah, a lot of people were just like, forget Disney Plus, let's go to Netflix. Which would be, for me, very full circle, considering that's where I first started watching Doctor Who, was on Netflix
Yeah.
over a decade ago. So, um, of course, like, talking about that regeneration we had at the last episode, what that means. Apparently nobody there is convinced that Billy is a new iteration of the Doctor. um she's something else. um yeah yeah, we had our own speculation when we talked about the season, of course. um and at this point, we're all just kind of sitting and waiting, much like these fellow fans are, which I totally get it.
Mm.
Uh, Doctor Who, it's obviously it's one of our tentpole series. It's the reason that we are here in the first place. It's the show that brought
Mhm.
us all together. It's partially why our show is named the way it is.
Yeah.
And but to have a show that is so quintessential to science fiction and popular culture for so long, and for it to be floundering, for
Mm-hmm. lack
lack of a better term, I totally get why people are a little frustrated. I imagine that this is probably I imagine this is probably what Star Trek fans felt like when the OG series looked like it was going to get canceled after 2 seasons, you know. Uh, they had to fight tooth and nail to get it to come back for that 3rd season. Um, and thankfully it did, because it ended up, feeding into several feature films and several more television series and more feature films. Um, but I don't know, maybe it's because Doctor Who is, because it's not American, so it's like it's like almost seems like we have less agency over it. Like our opinion doesn't matter because we're here, but it's such a British institution and it's over there. So ultimately, like the BBC gets to decide, and we're all over here like, hello, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously, we've got the OG fans, from the motherland.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but at the same time, it's like, numbers wise, there's a lot of us
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
over here across the pond and in other places, and it's like we'd like to be heard, please, and thank you. Why are you ghosting us, boo? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. I get it. Yeah. I would love to have Doctor Who be on and know that it's gonna, be on the regular, but that's, I think some of that is the nature of the show. I think some of that is I mean, if any of our listeners from across the pond want to give their 2 cents, please, because I'm totally speculating here, but I think we're also at the victim of just the way that British television works. It does not
Mhm.
work the same way it does here. You know, you've got regular television, and then we've got our streaming services, but we still have to deal with a lot of ads and things like
Mhm.
that. In the UK, they don't. They just pay
Licensing fee
the
for
citizens just pay a licensing fee and they get to watch TV and don't have to worry about things like commercials, or very minimal commercials.
commercials. Yeah.
Yeah, so it does not, it's the system is different, and I think maybe that's part of the frustration as well, is just we're there's a culture difference. So us as Americans, we're just like, why? And they're all like, this is the way we roll, dearie. Yeah. No. But again, that's pure speculation on my part based on what little I know of how television functions in Europe. So, but yeah, I'll have a link in the show notes to this one article. Um, like I said, it does not seem like this fan panel was, super negative or super like rose-colored glasses either. It seems like they were fairly pragmatic about it. It's just, there's like, we've got opinions and we need to talk about it. And
Mm-hmm.
this is as good as place of any to be able to get fans together and speculate, I guess. Um, so, um, and then last thing I will mention, this is pretty awesome for, um, almost 50 years. And this is fairly common. There's other events that I go to that they do blood drives as well. But for almost 50 years, Comic-Con has been doing a blood drive.
Cool.
It's been a long going thing with the con, and this year they announced by the end of the convention, and they stopped donations, that they collected 3,300 pints of blood over
Wow.
the weekend. So
Wow.
their goal was 3,500. So
Not
not
bad.
bad. Yeah.
Not bad.
Apparently all donors this time around received a limited edition Marvel Fantastic Four t-shirt.
Nice.
Ooh.
So yeah, this was the 49th annual blood drive.
That is
They
so cool.
yeah, the theme was
Right.
inspired by the upcoming Fantastic Four movie, inviting Comic-Con attendees in the community to unleash their inner hero and make a life-saving impact. So they are going to continue to give away shirts through the end of the month as supplies last. So if you're in the area and can make an appointment to go donate, you please do. They said in their throughout its history, more than 93,000 pints of blood have been donated by Comic-Con attendees, exhibitors, professionals, volunteers, and staff. So, which has gone on to impact almost 300,000 lives over the course of the last 49 years. So that is a big deal and really awesome. As someone who, unfortunately, as much as I would love to give blood, because I know how important it is, as someone who physically can't, for medical reasons, anybody that is willing to sit down and do that is pretty awesome in my book. Chauncey does as often as Chauncey is very fortunate that not only is he medically hardy enough to be able to donate multiple units of blood in one sitting, he can do blood and plasma.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Oh,
yep.
No, apparently he's got like super blood. So he's obviously with HIPAA and everything, they can't tell you a whole lot, but at one point, like his blood, they knew it was his specifically, had been used to treat someone at a local hospital, and like the blood bank called to let him know that his blood had been used to save somebody's life. So
Oh wow.
yeah. Well, that is pretty awesome. So yeah, if there's a lot out there that we you look at the news and everything, and you're just like, everything sucks, and a lot of people wish that maybe they could do something. See if you can donate blood. If you've never have done, they might say no. And I mean, there's a number of perfectly good reasons why they may say no. I mean, there are certain minimum requirements that you have to meet, like a certain minimum weight. You have to be 16 or 18, I think. I think it depends on where you live. Probably 18, actually. I think most places, I think you have to be 18. You may be able to do 16 with parents' consent. I don't know. It probably depends.
It's possible, I think.
Yeah.
I think in Florida it was like 7. It was either 16 or 17. Because I remember we were to donate.
Yeah, because I was in high school, and we were doing a blood drive, and I signed up. It was the first time that I was like, oh yeah, I can totally do this. It was also like, hey, if you signed up, you get out of class for a little bit. I'm like, all right, even better. And it just so happened it was during my math class. I'm like, sweet.
Even better.
Even better. I had to miss a little bit of math. I get to help save a life. This is win-win as far as I'm concerned. So it's like I got there, and it's like age was fine, weight was fine, general. I wasn't currently sick with a fever or anything. It was fine. And they went to go do the thing with the arm and the needle, and they looked at my arm and my veins, and they're like, nope, you can't. And I was like, okay.
Nuts.
So yeah. Yeah, it's just a physiological thing. Unfortunately, the needle that they use to draw blood for donations is different than like the needle they use if you're having blood drawn to have like blood work done for like medical reasons. The donation needle is significantly bigger, and my veins are not big enough to handle that size needle. It wouldn't do anything. It would just destroy the vein. Essentially, the vein would not be able to handle it because of the size difference. So, like, I can get blood drawn for testing, and with some proper preparation, I can get a vein going well enough to be able to get like an IV put in for, like surgery and stuff. But even, that I have to do certain things ahead of time to try to get my veins in like the best condition to be able to handle that needle. But yeah, the donation needle, I just, my veins can't handle it, unfortunately. So, so it sucks because I'm perfectly healthy. I don't even know what my blood type is. I don't know if it's the universal type or if it's one of the other types. So, but I know how important blood is on a day-to-day basis, let alone when there's like an emergency, like flooding or fires or, stuff like that. So, but yeah, if you've ever thought about donating blood, you may want to look into it. So
it's not as bad as you might think. I promise. I've done it plenty of times.
It's not, I'm making it like the needle is so big. It's not that big. It's just, I just have very tiny veins. So it's not like it's like, not like lightsaber big, but yeah, I mean, you get to lay down. Usually they have like a television for you to watch. You usually get a snack after, like a cookie and some juice. So, you might get a t-shirt or some other swag, depending on, who you're donating with. With Chauncey's gotten things like beach towels and all sorts of stuff from our local center here. So
I've gotten like local grocery gift cards.
So, and you might just save a life. So there's your PSA, folks. There's your PSA, and there's your happy news to round out Fandom Christmas. So yeah, like I said, it's a little on the quieter side as far as Fandom Christmas is concerned. But that's okay. Consider this a little calm before next year. Because we do have the yes, there is a D23 Expo next year as well. But Fandom Christmas will be first, I think. Usually. That is the case. But yeah, I expect a bit more of a presence next year because yes, we do have Doomsday. We'll be months away from Doomsday this time next year. And then be, a year or so out from Secret Wars. yes, yeah, we still got the Grogu Mandalorian movie that's coming at some point, maybe next year. Uh,
Yeah.
so we're supposed to get season 2 of Ahsoka at some point. They're actively working on that now, supposedly. So stuff's getting worked on. It's just not stuff that they can show us right now. But that's okay. I will take it. We'll take whatever they give us. So, all right. Well, if any of our listeners want to give their 2 cents on any of the news we got from San Diego Comic-Con, you can email us, just like Shalane did, fivishfangirls@gmail.com, or you can go to our website, which is thefivishfangirls.com, where you can find all the linky links to all of our various social media accounts. So you can always message us that way if you are so inclined. Also link to the book club, like I mentioned. You got a few more days officially
Yes.
for this month's book club, but of course, we leave that stuff open after the fact. So if you forget, you're fine. And then if you want to financially support us, you can also find links to all of that on the website, including Patreon and our merch on Redbubble. I may put this out on the social medias as a poll, maybe just to get people's opinion, but anyone listen to this and maybe wants to send an answer via feedback as well. What would your opinion be if we changed websites for merch? Would anyone be like absolutely heartbroken if we moved away from Redbubble? Or you're like, I don't really care where you get it from, just as long as I can get it. Yeah. So just looking at potential other options for maybe slightly better quality. And maybe some slightly different options as far as variety of products besides just like t-shirts and tote bags. So just putting that out there. If anyone wants to give their 2 cents about that, please feel free to do that as well. So all right. Well, I think that is going to be it for now that Fandom Christmas is over here. And we shall sign off for this week.
This is Brittany Bingo saying goodnight.
This is Holly from Wisconsin saying good evening.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I even if I do get to go to Fandom Christmas one of these years, somebody's gonna have to make sure that I plan a budget first, because
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff I saw on social media was all product related. And I'm just like, I'm so glad I'm not right there right now with the crack right. Her universe are going to be the death of me. And Loungefly. You're killing me, Smalls.
Oh.
Thank you, our Five-ish fam, for joining us on this week's geeky journey. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Stay connected with us on our website, thefivishfangirls.com, and follow us on most social media with @FiveishFangirls. Plus, check out our nonprofit, Fangirls Give Back, to see how we're making a positive impact in our community. Until next time, stay nerdy and let the squee continue.